Good morning. It's really cold this morning. I'm hoping to go out shortly for a walk, and if the footage I record is too long, I'll upload it as a separate video tomorrow, because I don't want to make these videos too long when I can avoid it. I'm going to replace my mum's back door lock this morning. I ordered this earlier in the week and it arrived yesterday, so I'm going to fit this. I'll show you how I fit this. It's dead easy, it takes like 5 minutes. And her back door has one of those knobs to lock the door from the inside, but you open it on the outside with a key. But when she bought the house, the keys that came with the house, they don't fit the back door, so they must have been changed at some point, and she doesn't have a back door key, which is fine, and that you can lock it and unlock it from inside, but if it's locked you can't open it from the outside. Again, doesn't matter because you've got a front door, but you know, it's not very practical. So I ordered her one of these online, and it says it came yesterday. It's really shiny. So I'm going to fit that, and all it is like one screw on the edge of the door to be taken out, slide out the old one, put the new one in. Really easy. We did one of these recently for ourselves, so I'll show how we do that. It'll take 2 minutes. So you see, it's just one of these knob things on the inside of the door jamb. Is this the door jamb? Edge of the door, anyway. There is a screw. So I'm going to take that screw out and then slide this whole thing out. These can be quite stiff, but I took this out the other day, so it's quite loose now. Oh, you know, easy to turn. So I'll just take that out. And then take this out. Sometimes you're going to kind of turn that to get in the right position. Just, there we go, I just had it turned the wrong way. So just slide that out. There's the old one. It's looking pretty manky. And then I'm going to get the new one. I'm just going to pop the key in so that I can turn this little bit that turns in the middle into the right position as I slide it in. So that black bit, see that moves as you turn the key. So you're not going to move, you're going to make sure the key's in the right place, so it'll slide through the hole. It's just straight hole through. Just slide that lock in into position. Make sure it's in the middle. When you order these, you take out your old one and you have to measure from that hole to there and that hole to there, and you'll have a size for the inside of the door and size for the outside of the door. You make sure obviously you measure it from the right side, because these come in different lengths. I think they're pretty standard that way, but you just buy them in different lengths depending upon the thickness of your door. So like this one is 40 mils each way. I did bring a spare one from home, but it was the wrong size. It was too short. It was like 10 mil too short, half an inch too short. So this is just slide that in, make sure it's in the middle, and then get the screw. Where's the new screw? Bear with me. Found the screw. It was under a boot on the floor, so I'm just going to put that in there, find the hole, make sure this is in the right place. You might have to just jiggle it to get the screw into the hole. Once you find it, just screw it in. Turn it with the screwdriver. And you can get these, you know, brass or silver depending on your door, and hopefully that'll work. All done, new, brand new. All done. I forgot to mention that screw that you screw through the edge of the door when you're taking the old one out. If it's too tight, don't overforce it. You know, spray it with some lubricating spray or something, or have a plan B, because if that screw head breaks off, you can't take the lock out. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's nothing wrong with the lock, because you could just stick with it for the, you know, time being. But if it breaks off, you won't be able to get that lock out without having to drill out the screw. So you would need like one of those, you know, like a self-tapping thing where it kind of drills into the old screw and then you can unscrew the screw. I think my husband's got some. But I've never actually used one of those before. So if it's too tight, just be careful. Do not break off that screw head, or you won't be able to get that screw out without a self-tapping tool. Just driven out to the forest for a walk. Just parked up. This is a bit of a drive. But it was lashing down with rain. It's just about finished now. I'm just waiting for it to stop completely, and then I'll head out, because it's just a little bit of walk till you're under cover. It doesn't matter when I'm in the forest if it rains. I'm just trying to keep out the wind. At least it should be okay under there. Had a really nice walk today. The weather held out, which was great. It was really cold, but at least it stayed dry. Well, I spent the afternoon, or the rest of the afternoon, knitting, and I'm just putting some food on now. For tea, I've made some homemade potato wedges. So, you know, potatoes cut into wedges and tossed in some olive oil and salt. I'm going to, whilst the oven on, make some cake, and I thought I'd chat to you whilst I'm cooking. I'm making a spiced apple cake, which is basically a Victoria sandwich cake mix with a couple of tweaks. So 4 ounces of butter, 4 ounces of sugar, 2 eggs, 4 ounces of flour, self-raising flour. But I'm using light brown sugar in its place, and I'm adding 2 or 3 chopped eating apples, depends on how big they are. Just cut into little dice, mixed up in the mix, and put in your baking tin, and sprinkle the top with demerara sugar before you bake it. And I'm making that, and I have some cooking apples to stew up, some stewed apple to go with yogurt for breakfast, to have with granola. And yes, I thought I'd chat whilst I'm just making cake, but I'm gonna have to put the camera down because I'm holding the tripod up at the moment, because it's not tall enough, this one, to show me face when I'm stood up, and I can't really do the sitting down. I gave up on the tripod and just propped it in some really weird precarious way. You don't know how it's propped up. It may involved a kitchen roll and a bottle opener though. So yeah, I got back from my walk and I had a message from my oldest son, and asking me to call him. Well, it was a missed call, so I messaged what was up, and he called me back, and apparently somebody knocked him off his bike this morning, off his pedal bike, push bike. Some lady had pulled out in her car in front of him when he was on his way to work and knocked him off. So obviously he had to go to A&E. She had to go to A&E because she was expecting, or is expecting I should say, not was. And everybody's fine. Nobody was going overly fast. Neither of them are seriously injured. I mean, obviously she would have been pretty shook up. And my son, he's fine. He has a broken bone in his hand, or cracked bone in his hand. And from what I could tell, it's in one of these bones at the base of his thumb. So he has to wear a splint for the next couple of weeks. Then he goes back to the hospital and has some more x-rays done. So yes, it's never a dull moment, is it, when you have children, even when they are grown up. Oh, another thing I'm adding to this cake mix is I'm adding mixed spice, because it's spiced up. So yes, that was what greeted me when I come home, but he's fine. I just need it added. Seasonal to my cake instead of allspice. That would have been really strange tasting cake, considering it's got chili and paprika in it. So this evening I am planning on doing the editing for this video, and then I will be watching TV again. I'm quite enjoying getting to watch all these films and TV that I wouldn't normally watch at home, because we don't watch much TV, but we tend to watch something, not every evening, but say 3 or 4 nights a week. We'll watch something on TV or a movie together, sort of after tea, sort of like from about 7 o'clock onwards we'll watch something. But I mean, I choose what we watch every night, but I do try to be, you know, I try to vary it, so it's not just stuff that I would want to watch, but a lot of it is. But there's some things that I know John really isn't interested in, so being able to watch stuff like, I don't know, rubbish Disney TV movies, and because you don't have to concentrate on it, you can just have it on kind of there, but you kind of concentrate on anything, things like that. So being able to watch those has been really rather good. Trying to get quite a bit of those watched rather than other stuff that I could watch with John. And either tomorrow or Sunday I'm going to attempt, or I'm hoping to record a podcast episode, so that can go out early next week, but probably Monday, depending on what day I manage to record, because it takes quite a bit of time to edit a podcast. So it just depends upon time, because Mum comes back on Sunday evening. Now it's sort of tea time-ish, so I'll be wanting everything to be done before then, because I want to cook before she gets home, so she's got something for tea when she lands. So hoping to get the podcast recorded and edited before then, so it can just go out, be uploaded overnight on Sunday night, but if not, it will have to go out Tuesday. So yep, I shall sign off here in case I have nothing else to say, in case there's no more talky bits, and if there isn't, I will say goodbye for today, and if there's anything that's non-talky, I will add it on the end after this. See you tomorrow.